The Most Insidious Women by Zodiac Sign. There are women who know how to charm at first sight, say exactly what is needed, and get what they want so that no one even notices how they ended up in their game. Their strength is not in big words, but in the ability to subtly manage the situation, read people, and use circumstances to their advantage. This is not a myth or an exaggeration. Astrology clearly indicates which zodiac signs most often give birth to such insidious and unpredictable women. Today we will analyze who they are, those whose smile can be warmer than the sun, and words colder than ice. Those who easily win trust and then masterfully turn everything to their advantage. We will put their strengths on the shelves, find out how they work and why it is impossible to forget them. Watch to the end to see if you or your friends are on this list. Subscribe to the channel so as not to miss the analysis of the real strengths and weaknesses of each zodiac sign. Write in the comments whether you have met women who knew how to control fate as if they held it in the palms of their hands. The first sign is Aquarius. The Aquarius woman has a special type of cunning that does not manifest itself in direct conflicts or open confrontation. Her strength is in her intellectual superiority and ability to use unconventional moves where others act habitually. She will not waste energy on direct pressure. She changes the playing field, adjusting the situation so that the opponent himself ends up in a losing position. At the same time, outwardly everything looks natural, and her involvement in the events remains in the shadows. The cunning of Aquarius is manifested in the ability to create the illusion of friendship and trust. She knows how to adapt to the interlocutor, reflecting his manner of speech, interests, and values, because of which the person feels affection for her and opens up. But at the same time, she is already collecting the necessary information, analyzing weaknesses, and calculating where and when they can be used. Her approach is coldly logical. She does not act out of emotion, only out of calculation. Her weapons are unexpected decisions and the absence of fear of breaking the rules. The Aquarius woman knows how to bypass restrictions, ignore authorities, and use unconventional ways to achieve a goal. She is not limited by morality if she sees that the result is worth it. At the same time, she avoids brute force. She prefers psychological influence and targeted actions that imperceptibly change the overall situation. She often acts through third parties, leaving no direct traces. She can create a situation in which people themselves will make the decision she needs, without even suspecting that they were pushed to it. Her cunning is subtle, with elements of a strategic game, where every step is calculated in advance. At the same time, she is able to maintain an impeccable reputation, hiding her true motives under the image of an independent, freedom-loving, and unbiased person. In difficult situations, the Aquarius woman remains calm and focused. She analyzes not only events, but also people's reactions, changing her tactics depending on who is in front of her. Her ability to switch roles, from a caring friend to a cold analyst, makes her almost unpredictable. This is her main advantage in any game of influence. The second sign is Sagittarius. The Sagittarius woman combines outward straightforwardness with the ability to hide her true intentions, which makes her cunning especially dangerous. She gives the impression of being open and honest, but it is precisely behind this sincerity that her main tactic is hidden, to act when no one expects a trick. Her directness often disorients people, creating the illusion that she says everything she thinks. But in fact, she keeps the most important thoughts and plans to herself, leaving them for the moment when she can use them to her advantage. The cunning of Sagittarius is manifested in the strategic selection of information that she voices. She can tell part of the truth to gain trust, and at the same time, keep key details secret. At the right moment, these details become leverage. She skillfully creates situations in which people open up to her, thinking that they are in a safe communication zone. Her strong point is the ability to suddenly change strategy. The Sagittarius woman easily changes plans if she sees that the situation can bring more benefits. She is able to abandon the current goal for the sake of a more promising one, and she will do it in such a way that no one will guess about the change of course. She avoids direct clashes, preferring to act through provocation or creating circumstances that push the opponent to the steps she needs. She uses her charm as a weapon. Her charisma attracts people, and her ability to captivate with conversations distracts from the essence of what is happening. While the interlocutor is carried away by the discussion, Sagittarius is already making a plan on how to use the information received. She sees weak points in the logic, emotions, environments, and habits of people, and can at the right moment put pressure exactly where there will be the maximum effect. In conflicts, the Sagittarius woman acts subtly. She does not arrange open showdowns, but can create a situation in which the opponent himself will destroy his position. Her cunning lies not in aggression, but in the ability to direct the energy of others against themselves. Her strategy is to use speed, flexibility of thought, and the ability to stay one step ahead. The third sign of Pisces. A woman born under this sign knows how to use softness and external vulnerability as a weapon. Her cunning is based on a skillful combination of feigned defenselessness and subtle psychological pressure. She does not attack directly, preferring to push people to the decisions she needs so that they themselves consider these decisions their own. Her words are always carefully chosen. She can present criticism as care and manipulation as a manifestation of sincere participation. The Pisces woman perfectly senses the weak points of the interlocutor and knows what topics to touch on in order to unbalance him or make him feel guilty. She rarely acts openly. She prefers to act through hints, understatement, half-tones, creating an atmosphere of emotional uncertainty around herself, in which people begin to doubt themselves. She knows how to maintain the appearance of honesty and sincerity, while imperceptibly changing the meaning of events in her favor. Even her silence can be a weapon. The right pause, look, or sigh can instill the desired emotion. A Pisces woman can drown in problems in order to evoke sympathy and thus persuade someone to take an action that is beneficial to her. At the same time, she masterfully uses emotional swings, from complete alienation to tenderness, creating a dependence on her disposition in others. Her cunning is enhanced by her ability to retain all the little things in her memory. She can remember a casually spoken phrase for years and use it at the moment when it will bring the greatest effect. When communicating with her, it often seems that everything happens naturally, but behind every word and gesture, there is a carefully constructed calculation. She is able to build multi-move combinations in which emotions become the main instrument of influence. Such a woman knows how to adapt to any person, copying his communication style, interests, and even habits. This creates the illusion of closeness and trust, which is easy to believe. But when the goal is achieved, she can dramatically change her behavior, leaving the interlocutor completely bewildered. The Pisces woman's cunning is not open aggression, but the ability to control mood, direct the thoughts and emotions of others in the right direction, while remaining in the role of caring and kind. Her strength is that her methods are almost impossible to prove. She is like water that fills all the cracks and changes its flow depending on the obstacles. The fourth sign is Capricorn. The Capricorn woman is cunning through her control and calculation. She never takes steps without calculating their consequences. Her actions seem slow, but behind this measuredness lies absolute precision and a cold assessment of the situation. She can build positions for years, influencing the environment so that at the right moment, everything works out in her favor. Her cunning is in her patience and ability to wait. She prefers to act according to the rules, not contrary to them. The Capricorn woman knows how to use the existing system to her advantage, finding loopholes and weak points. She can achieve her goal while remaining within the bounds of decency, but at the same time completely subjugating the situation. Her approach is emotionless. She removes the unnecessary, leaves only what leads to the result, and discards everything that gets in the way. The cunning of Capricorn is manifested in the ability to control information. She rarely says everything she knows, but always listens attentively. Her strategic silence makes people fill the gaps by giving more than they planned. She can use it later, when it's time to make a move. This is her strength. She doesn't waste resources until the moment of maximum effect arrives. Her tactics are often based on creating dependency. The Capricorn woman knows how to make sure that no important decision is made without her. She quietly infiltrates key processes, and as a result, any step other people take goes through her one way or another. At the same time, she avoids abrupt actions, preferring to slowly but surely build a structure where all paths lead to her. In personal interaction, she does not use overt threats. Instead, she acts through authority, confidence, and creating conditions in which her position becomes the only possible one. If she needs to remove a competitor, she will do it in such a way that everything will look like a natural development of events. Her cunning lies in the ability to control reality without leaving obvious traces of interference. The fifth sign is Virgo. Virgo is able to create the illusion of softness and modesty, while remaining one of the most calculating and cold-blooded women when it comes to protecting her own interests or achieving goals. She knows how to quietly collect information about people, notice their weaknesses, and use this knowledge at the right moment. Her observation is akin to a surgical instrument, precise, sharp, and unmistakable. External politeness and harmlessness only strengthen her position, allowing others to relax and stop controlling words and actions. At the right moment, Virgo is able to strike not with force, but with a word, choosing phrases that will touch the most vulnerable spot. Her cunning lies in the fact that she does not act spontaneously, but builds each combination of steps as if it were a chess game, where she always sees several moves ahead. She knows how to inspire confidence and at the same time push a person to those decisions that are beneficial to her. This is not direct pressure, but a subtle art of hints, logical traps, and seemingly harmless advice. At the same time, she rarely shows emotions, which makes her strategy even more effective. She can maintain a conversation so that the interlocutor himself reveals unnecessary things, thinking that he shares it of his own free will. In a team, such a woman is able to form the desired opinion about someone, using discreetly inserted comments or emphasized silence at key moments. Her ability to present facts so that they cause doubt, anxiety, or mistrust makes her a dangerous player in any social environment. She does not act rudely. Her cunning is always clothed in the form of care, help, or objective analysis of the situation. But this is where her strength lies. Those around her do not understand that they have become part of a carefully planned scheme. In relationships, she can create an atmosphere of complete harmony, while controlling her partner so that his choice always coincides with her interests. If she feels a threat to her position, she is able to instantly change her tactics, become even more attentive, flexible, and persuasive. She masterfully uses the weaknesses of others as levers of influence, but she does it in such a way that the person is often even grateful to her for the hint. Her cold analysis, combined with the ability to hide her true intentions, turns Virgo into a woman who is able to influence events around her without obvious participation. In a business environment, she can direct the course of negotiations by asking questions that look like clarifications, but in fact change the balance of power. She does not waste energy on open conflicts, preferring to act from the shadows, where her influence is maximum and the risks are minimal. External discipline and a reputation as a responsible person create an ideal disguise for her, allowing her to implement her ideas and control the result without unnecessary attention to her person. Virgo's cunning is not a flash, but a methodical, long-term process in which every element is thought out to the smallest detail, and the final goal is achieved without a direct confrontation. Her true power is that even after understanding her maneuvers, people still tend to justify her actions, considering them rational and justified. And this makes her dangerous, not because of her overt actions, but because of her ability to act quietly, unnoticed and effectively, while everyone around her is sure that they have the situation under control, unaware that control has long been in her hands.